Chelsea Football Club have a massive decision to make with Mauricio Pochettino. The season hasn't started well, and if you compare 2022 with 2023 Christmas time, it's damning. Chelsea last year, after 14 games, had one less point, and that is absolutely crazy. We were 8th in the league, unacceptable, but we weren't 10th or 12th. At this moment in time, Chelsea have a decision to make. I've got 6 reasons of what I don't like about Mauricio Pochettino being the manager of Chelsea Football Club. I've been very consistent with what I've said. I need to give him till the halfway stage of the season and then give you guys my verdict, my rhetoric, why I believe whether Pochettino should get more time or whether he should be sacked. My 6 reasons are honest, concise, and I believe once you hear them, you're going to come to my way of thinking, or you're going to acknowledge that, yeah, there are some reasonable points, but I still want to stay with Pochettino. I don't think Pochettino is the solution for Chelsea Football Club in the long term. I don't think sacking Pochettino fixes all of our problems. I think we've got an issue with the board. I think the ambitions of the club are non-aligned with the rest of the club's demand and the fans' anticipation for more trophies. So we're going to break these stories down. We're going to look at each particular reason. There are 6 of them. We're going to count them down. And before we do that, I want to say Merry Christmas to whoever celebrated it. I hope you lot had a blast. I hope you lot turned up. I hope you had a lot of food. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a very nice day as well. Relaxing, watch some TV, spend it with the ones you love, and overall just a beautiful day. Today is the 5-year anniversary of this channel. We have really grown this channel from me making 1 video a week to me consistently giving you guys content 5 days a week. And for me, this is only the beginning. Next year is going to be massive. We are going to grow past 50,000 subs. We are going to smash views, and we're going to smash the hours watched on this channel, because what we have built in the last 2 years of me being serious on this channel is absolutely beautiful, and I greatly appreciate it. So if for those of you that have made it this far, I need you lot to hit that like button. I need you lot to subscribe. And this year, I'm really going to be pushing on share it with your friends. Use that share button. Make sure you get more people to come watch the Kavkas View. It's the best way to grow. It's the most organic way to grow. The word of mouth of other people. Now, let's start with it. Reason number 1 that I think Pochettino has really disappointed me after 18 games. I think Pochettino's in-game management is very poor. I think there have been many occurrences in this game, right, in this whole season, where Pochettino, where I believe a Tuchel, a Jose, a Conte, a Sarri would step up and make a change to swing the game back in our favour. Pochettino has been outclassed. And I can give you examples. West Ham, David Moyes in the second half absolutely schooled him. Nottingham Forest, Cooper absolutely schooled him with an adjustment. Emery in the second half absolutely schooled him and suckered him in. And once again, the other day, when we were playing a competent game, Sterling misses a big opportunity. The team's morale gets low. He gets schooled by Gary O'Neill. His in-game management is not one of a Chelsea caliber manager. You need to understand, when you're managing Aston Villa, when you're managing Southampton, Espanyol, Spurs, teams of that caliber, the mid-table, this is totally acceptable. You're not expected to win on a weekly basis. When you're managing a Chelsea Football Club, I think there's an expectation of us cracking 70 points every year, meaning top 4. That is the bare minimum. As Chelsea fans, we demand that. No matter who plays on that pitch, we expect 70 points. And then when we don't get it, we're upset because we're like, well, we're spending the money to. It means it's poor recruitment, pure utilization of the squad, and poor alignment from top downwards. I think that is unarguable. We can all agree on that. Reason number 2. I don't know what's said in a halftime tea, because there is a statistic going around, and this statistic is unbelievable. Chelsea in the Premier League have not been behind at halftime once. We've always went either ahead or drawing, yet we've lost 8 games. What this tells me is the halftime team tool is not effective. He does not bring the players in and help them maintain concentration and tell them, we've done half the job. We can't only focus on 45 minutes. And a lot of you are going to say, Alex, he's not their father, he's not their teacher, he's a coach, he's just meant to help them through, it's their responsibility. I don't agree. I think this is a young squad that needs to have patterns of play, needs to have a system in place, and needs to have as much automation in place as possible for them to develop. You can't trust them like they're 30-year-olds. You need to trust them the way they are, 22-year-olds. And Pochettino's halftime team talks evidently are not effective. Like, we're seeing it firsthand. And I think anyone that argues with me on this, I'm just going to point you to the evidence. We make it to halftime not losing. After halftime, we've lost 8 games. It's not a joke. The next one, we've won 6 in 18. 6 in 18 is unacceptable for Chelsea Football Club. Like, Chelsea Football Club is a club that has aspirations for the last 25 years of winning regular trophies. We're competing on a weekly basis and generating a lot of points. We're not doing any of that. Like, we haven't been doing any of that for the last 13 months. Is it all Pochettino's fault? No. But should Pochettino have more wins than he does at this moment in time? 100% he should. Pochettino, 6 games in 18 is not bad luck. 6 games in 18 is a trend. It's the halfway point of a season. You can't have 6 wins in 18 and tell me you're doing a decent job and you should keep your job. The ownership should sack him. The question is, who do you bring in? And that's not our responsibility to say, because we're not the ownership. We don't have the facilities in place. Who would have thought Ange Postecoglou would have been such a great manager at a top club like Spurs? And you know what? It hurts me to call Spurs a top club, because at this moment in time, they are a top 6 club and we're not. We have 2 years of evidence that we're not a serious institution. And it worries me. And people are going to say you're being negative. I'm not being negative. I'm being realistic and I'm being transparent and I'm being honest about it. I thought about this video a lot. I sat down and I planned this video over an hour and a half to think about my points, to give you guys reasonable expectations. 6 wins in 18 is not acceptable. Being 10th is not acceptable. Then I need to talk about Pochettino's character as himself. We've got Ian Maatsen, we've got Malo Gusto, we've got Ben Chilwell, we've got Reece James. Yes, the 2 latter ones have been injured the whole season. You still have 2 fullbacks. Pochettino's insistence to have 2 centre-backs at fullback is killing me. He is too defensive to be a top coach. There is a reason I say Unai Emery cannot manage a top 4 club in England. At top 4 club in England, there's an expectation. And the expectation is that you go out and win games on a regular basis. What happened at Arsenal? I've got an Arsenal friend that was going mad when he was his manager. The reason he was going mad was because they were sacrificing the ball at home at the Emirates and allowing Palace to build up play. And for him, that was criminal. Because he's like, we shouldn't have to depend on them to make a mistake for us to win the game. We have to go out there and win the game. And Chelsea is the same thing. We need to dominate games. We can't be reactive. We have to be proactive. And I think Pochettino is too concentrated, if that's a word, on what the opposition does rather than us. So Pochettino won't play Maatsen because he needs to make sure that the opposition's right winger is shut down, because he could hurt us instead of us hurt him. But why don't you back your players? Why don't you back Mikhailo Mudryk? Why don't you back Raheem Sterling? Why don't you back Cole Palmer? Why don't you back Christopher Nkunku? Why don't you back Nicholas Jackson? To harm the other team by having more outlets rather than us being more defensive. And for me, that is a massive problem. Then the big elephant in the room. And people aren't going to like this one. This is number 5. People are going to say, Alex, this is an agenda. It's not an agenda. This is realism. Chelsea Football Club has spent an awful lot of money on Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. And the fact that Conor Gallagher is the one that looks good in this system out of the 3 of them is a problem. And the reason it's a problem is because you don't spend £220 million to have a system that accentuates the skill set of an individual like Conor Gallagher, who Conor's a good player, by the way, before anyone attacks me. I think Conor defensively is fantastic. I really do. I think for a team that's mid-table, who's going to run around and chase the ball and be in a Poch-like team where you're reactive, not proactive. Poch is going to be, Poch and Conor would be fantastic. Like, give Unai Emery Conor Gallagher. Fantastic. Give him to Pep. He doesn't play. Give him to Arteta. He doesn't play. Give him to Liverpool. He plays because Liverpool play in the same manner as Pochettino plays. But we just have less quality. Everything we have that Liverpool do is get the ball quickly to the forward line after you're defensively solid and get it quick and then bomb. But even Klopp, Trent is a maverick. The stuff Trent does, Poch would never allow any of our fullbacks to do. The roam in, the go have fun. So for me, when you have a system in place that moves Enzo Fernandez to number 10, religiously keeps Moises Caicedo in the 6, don't know what you're doing with Cole Palmer, whether he's a 10, whether he's a right winger, it is time to end it. Like, it is worrying and it is unpromising of a Chelsea manager. And the biggest one of all, number 6, and I saved this one now, we are getting worse. And I've got some numbers here to back it up. First 9 games, right? The excuse was very simple. Pre-season, first 9 games, we need to give him time. And I was preaching this, by the way. I'm holding my hands up. I was preaching. 3 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. 13 goals scored, 9 goals conceded. What was I saying? At least we're defensively solid. We keep this defense, we're going to be positive. We keep this defense, we're going to go down on the run. Trust me on this one, we're going to be fine. We just need to start converting chances. Next 9 games, 3 wins, 1 draw, 5 losses. 5 losses is unacceptable. Manchester United, Newcastle, Brentford, Wolves, and there's one that I'm missing. There is 5 losses in this run. Absolutely unacceptable. Because some of the draws that we got, Man City and Arsenal, if they were losses, you'd say, okay, cool, makes sense. We're seeing progress. But we're not seeing progress. 16 goals and 19 conceded in 9 Premier League games. That's 2 goals a game. Unacceptable. And in the same time frame, Wolves matching us on points. Bournemouth have a game in hand, matching us on points. Fulham, 1 point behind. Brentford, 1 point behind. Everton, more points than us if you add back their deduction points. The 10 points they've lost. How is that acceptable? What is the excuse for Marco Silva, Sean Dyche, Gary O'Neill, the guy at Bournemouth? What is the excuse? Because they don't have the quality that Chelsea have. You can't convince me Cole Palmer, Raheem Sterling shouldn't be picked at a team that's top half of the Premier League. Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Levi Colwill, Badiashile, Thiago Silva. What are we doing here? And this is exactly why I think there needs to be a change. By no means am I saying Pochettino is the only issue, but I think Pochettino is a big issue. And what Pochettino can do is ease the pain that the club is currently under. Because we are getting strangled. We are absolutely becoming a butt of a joke. We are becoming a joke. And the reality is, I don't know what manager they're going to go for. I don't. And I'm not going to sit here and say, I know what they're going to do. Because the old Chelsea, Hansi Flick would be coming in. The old Chelsea, they go and get somebody. I actually think the likelihood is Poch gets to see out the season. And then we go get De Zerbi. And De Zerbi will give in this squad, gets to build some kind of foundation, some kind of talent on this squad. And then after, another manager comes in to win. But personally, I'm a little bit lost. I'm a little bit frustrated. I'm not looking forward to the Palace game tomorrow. I want to hear your thoughts. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts. Peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely day.